In a surprising move, Democrats led by Chuck Schumer have announced that they will filibuster Neil Gorsuch. Interesting. So, according to the Washington Post, Schumer had told him if this nominee cannot earn 60 votes, a bar met by each of President Obama's nominees and George Bush's last two nominees, the answer isn't to change the rules, it's to change the nominee. Now, why does he talk about changing the rules? Well, I'll get to that. He added that Gorsuch was unable to sufficiently convince me that he be an independent check on Donald Trump. Gorsuch is not a neutral legal mind, but someone with a deep-seated conservative ideology. He was groomed by the Federalist Society and has shown not 1 inch of difference between his views and theirs. Okay, so look, on that stuff, yeah, he's absolutely right. And I think that filibustering is definitely the right thing to do. I would filibuster, I would get everybody together and make sure that there's no dissent in the ranks and filibuster him. But see, he's doing the right thing, I think, for the wrong reasons. Now, it's not so much that Gorsuch is to the right of Antonin Scalia, which he absolutely is, and that he loves big money in politics, he loves big corporations, he's a very corporate judge, he's very, very anti-choice, and being a pick from the Federalist Society, which is a very far-right think tank. It's not any of that. I mean, those on their own are great reasons to oppose Gorsuch, to block his ass. But see, there's another reason here. See, if the Democrats are successful in blocking him and the Republicans put up somebody else who's a little bit slightly more moderate on some things, then the Democrats would get him through. And see, that's what I have a problem with. That's the issue. This is a stolen seat. Plain and simple. By law, President Obama had a pick. You know who he picked? Merrick Garland. It was the Republicans' constitutional duty to give Merrick Garland a hearing. Not to vote for him, but to give him a hearing. And yet they failed to do that. Remember this number, 293. That's how many days the Republicans blocked Merrick Garland from even getting a hearing. Not a vote, but a hearing. They blocked President Obama's pick. The last president, a Democratic president, they blocked that guy's pick for 293 days. Not because Merrick Garland was a huge lefty or some leftist ideologue, crazy liberal socialist, whatever. No. Merrick Garland was center right. He was pro money in politics. He was pro corporation. I didn't like that pick. I didn't like Merrick Garland. I still don't like Merrick Garland. Now, of course, you compare him to this guy, Gorsuch. Well, Gorsuch is to the right of Antonin Scalia. Obviously, I'm going to like Merrick Garland a little bit better, but it's not about him. It's not even about Neil Gorsuch. It's about the fact that Merrick Garland deserved a hearing. And Republicans, what did they do? Obstruct. They spat in President Obama's eye. For the last year of his term, they did not give this guy a hearing. This is about the Republicans flagrantly breaking the rules in order to get what they want, when it suits them. Now, just like what the Republicans are currently threatening to do, what they're doing is if the Democrats dare to do a filibuster, they're talking about killing the filibuster. They're going to go nuclear. According to the Washington Post, senior Republicans have vowed that Gorsuch will be confirmed no matter what. Ooh, that's a threat. That's a threat. They basically, Washington Post says it's a threat that they will upend Senate tradition and change the chamber's rules so that the Supreme Court nominee can be confirmed on a simple majority. That's the nuclear option, right? Now, some of the Republicans are going to be like, hey, man, we got to do it because the Democrats, remember when the Democrats did it? Quote, the so-called nuclear option was used by the Democrats in 2013 to change Senate rules and make it easier to confirm executive branch nominees and picks to serve on lower federal courts. However, Supreme Court nominations were not included in that rules change. If it were, we would have Judge Merrick Garland. Just saying. So they didn't change those rules. So it's not exactly the same thing. Republicans can't go around and say, Obama did it. No, he did not. Here are the facts on that. Anyway. Now, He did so, by the way, because, again, the Republicans were blocking all of those different appointees. The Republicans are the party of nihilists. All they want to do is break shit. And it's kind of interesting. It's really funny, actually, to see them try to govern based on that nihilism. That's why they're not doing a very good job. Just saying. But anyway, this goes to why the Democrats, I think, are weak. Moderate Democrats are now facing pressure to support Gorsuch, have said that they are hoping that both parties can come to an agreement that leads to Gorsuch's confirmation and the preservation of current Senate traditions. So basically what they do is they spit in your eye. And not only do you still afford them a hearing, but you're also going to let so-called moderate Democrats vote if they want to confirm a judge that is more right-wing than Justice Scalia. Now, they make the justification, well, look, that's what my voters want me to do that. That's what my voters want. I live in a red state. Some of these red state blue dog Democrats are saying, hey, man, we got to do what the voters want. The voters want me to support Gorsuch. No. No, they actually don't. You know what the voters actually like? They like strength. They like it when you have strong politicians, not weak politicians. See, that's why Republicans win. They're strong. The people overwhelmingly do not like, and break it down poll by poll, issue by issue, they don't like Republican ideas. Their ideas suck, and they're super unpopular. But again, Republicans win because they're strong. They might not have good ideas, but they're good at messaging and they're strong. And that's the problem. Democrats actually have all the advantages, but they still lose because they are weak. See the problem here? See, not one senator during the Gorsuch hearing asked, hey, do you have a constitutional duty to give a hearing to the president's Supreme Court nominations? Do you or do you not? If they say yes, they'll say, well, why didn't you give a hearing for Garland? Why did you make him wait 293 days until a new president? Why did you completely ignore President Obama's last year in office, his pick for the Supreme Court? If that is your constitutional duty, why are you not doing it? Why? Why did you wait 293 days? Give me an answer. Give me an answer. I would keep hounding them on that question until they're forced to answer. And of course, if they said, well, no, we don't have a constitutional duty to give a hearing to any Supreme Court nominee, then you know what I would do if I were a Democrat? Okay, go. Let's pack up. I'll see you in 293 days. I'll see you then. Did they have that? Did that happen? Did they do that? No. Why? Because the Democrats are weak. They're too busy playing nice with people who are essentially nothing more than bullies. And then, of course, they let hacks like Joe Manchin get away with voting for Gorsuch if he chooses to. I don't know where he's going to go, but he certainly talked about it. Now, what you have to do is if you're going to filibuster, you're going to do it as a united front. Let the Republicans destroy the filibuster. Let them. Let them ram through whatever crazy person that they want. Then the Democrats can say, hey, look, this is what happens when you vote for Republicans. This is what happens when you vote for people that want to destroy the government. They destroy government. They destroy the rules. They don't follow the rules. They don't believe in the rules. That's what you should do. And look, the Republicans, no matter what, they'll if they break the rules, then they're going to put in whoever they want. They're going to make a mess regardless. Okay, well, if they're going to make a mess, then why not let them own it? See, the Democrats, they're doing what they're doing not because they're playing three-dimensional chess. They think they're so smart. They're trying to catch Gorsuch into some sort of rhetorical trap or just to try to, keep the Republicans, keep that filibuster on the table for somebody else. You can't get more right-wing than Neil Gorsuch, who is to the right of Antonin Scalia. But let me give you an example of what the Democrats during this hearing was saying. Now, Senator Dianne Feinstein of California asked, "You've been very much able to avoid any specificity like no one I have ever seen before during this hearing." Ooh, so strong. So strong, Feinstein. Anything about how Merrick Garland never got a hearing? Anything? No? Didn't think so. And Amy Klobuchar says, well, we're not going to vote for you. We're not going to let you do a vote until we figure out what your philosophy is. What's your philosophy? Well, why are you asking about philosophy when it's pretty obvious that none of that even matters? You know why? Stolen seat. This is a stolen seat. Plain and simple. But look, if you really want to know, well, his philosophy is about empowering corporations. That's pretty simple. And being very, very right-wing. He calls himself a constitutional originalist, by the way, which means that he follows what he believes to be the original intent behind the founders of the Constitution. Now, I don't know if he knows this, but the Founding Fathers were kind of anti-corporation. I mean, I have a quote here from Thomas Jefferson saying, quote, I hope that we shall crush in its birth the aristocracy of our moneyed corporations. So, not exactly in favor of corporation, which dare already to challenge our government to a trial of strength and bid defiance to the laws of our country. You know, one thing that they fought against was the East India Corporation. They're not exactly favored by the revolutionaries, by the Founding Fathers, the colonists. But all this aside, this is the kind of questions the Democrats are asking. I mean, Sheldon Whitehouse at least referenced money in politics. But no. See, these hearings, the fact that we even have hearings for this nominee when we didn't have hearings before for Merrick Garland is an absolute disaster. It's a preemptive loss. And this is what happens when you have weak-ass Democrats. Look, we're going to get Gorsuch no matter what. Okay? So, buckle up. While the Republican Party comes to rob and loot this country, we're just going to have no choice but to sit back and watch. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.